You know, when I was a kid, I used to read every single issue of Mad Magazine. Actually, saying that I read it doesn't do it justice. I pored over it. I analyzed it. I discussed it with my friends. And I remember I was living in Puerto Rico at the time when I was a kid. I used to write back and forth to my cousin Jerry long letters about Mad Magazine or even other subjects, but it always incorporated that Mad sensibilities, you know, a very healthy skepticism. Because when I was a kid, all the media was just playing it all straight and everything. It was like the adult world. But the one source where we could laugh at all that was definitely Mad Magazine. It gave us our sensibilities. It gave a whole generation of kids a healthy skepticism of the world. So that's why I was very thrilled when I found out that the man that designed the channel banner for the DUmmie FUnnies here, you can see it above the channel banner. He illustrated the current issue of Mad Magazine. It's Bob Lizarraga. See, take a look here. Here it is. This is the December issue, and it's a horror theme. There's Lizarraga's name, and here, let's take a look inside. And what it is now, Mad Magazine, it's available by subscription and some other places, but primarily by subscription, and it's reprints of old, Mad Magazine stories. This one here, for example, has a couple of movie satires, which I really like. They got one about satire on Rosemary's Baby. I think it's Rose something's Baby, and then Arbor Day, and here it is. Here's the one, Rosemia's Boo Boo. Okay, and then I'm definitely going to be reading that again. I've read it before. And then there's the one on Psycho, satire on Psycho 2. But here, I'm going to show you something. This is very interesting to see. There's a warning label for current generation. There's an actual warning label for the current generation of social justice warrior snowflakes. I'll show you where it is. It's right here. Here, let's get my glasses on. Reading glasses. Okay, cover artist. Here it is. Bob. Can you see that? Bob Lizarraga. Now here's the warning label. Here's the warning label. They actually had to issue a warning label because these are reprints. And it says here, the vintage Mad pieces reprinted in this issue were produced in a time that was less mindful and sensitive to matters of race, gender, sexual identity, religion, and food allergies. The text of these articles is presented mostly unaltered and with crossed fingers for historical reference. So that's actually amazing that they had to put a warning label for the current SJW snowflakes. Now, I gotta just relate to you a few stories. You know what? I believe that Mad Magazine. Here, let me take my reading glasses off. I think Mad Magazine actually rewired the brains of at least a whole generation, maybe two generations of people that were reading it. Now, the first story I want to relate, it happened when I was 15. I took a trail. My folks wanted me to see the USA, so they got me a Trailways ticket, and I traveled from Miami up to Chicago and then out west, ended up in Montana. And on the way, I think he came on board somewhere in Wisconsin and sat down next to me was an older, I was 15, it turned out he was 27, so he was an older, to me he was like a real older guy. And he was a construction worker, a very gruff, no-nonsense construction worker. I talked to him briefly. He told me a little bit about, he just finished a job where I think it was in Wisconsin. He was going, I think, to Minneapolis to do another job. But, he had a real gruff sort of attitude. And, I could tell he wasn't really into talking to me. So I pulled out my Mad magazine and started leafing through it, and he got kind of curious. I said, "Oh, here, you know what? Why don't you read it?" And I was telling him how great it was. So the guy, the construction worker, after a very brief time, I could see smiles all over his face. His whole demeanor changed, and he was like laughing and everything. And you know, by the end of that trip, by the time he got off that bus, the Trailways bus, we were like joking around. He was like a whole different person. I mean, his whole personality, I could see it. He just fundamentally underwent a complete change, and I think that it rewired him. As I'm saying, it rewired at least a generation of people, maybe 2-3 generations of people. And he was like, we were all joking around and laughing at stuff that seemed serious to other people. Now, the other story I have is many years later. I'm living in Los Angeles, and one evening I just happened to see on the street Morton Downey when he was, at his height of his fame with that TV show. And so I yelled out to him. I go, "Hey, Morton!" And he kind of looked at me, and I thought he was going to give me, like probably had people yelling at him all the time. I think he was about to scowl at me, but in the very next breath, I said, "Hey, Morton, I saw you in Mad Magazine," because they did a satire piece on him, and you should have seen the smile that broke out on Morton's face. Again, just like the construction worker, his demeanor changed. He was like laughing. He going, "Oh yeah, yeah," and he was real friendly, like two fans of Mad Magazine. So those are the two stories that I saw. So I'm telling you, this is absolutely, to me, it's very incredible that somebody that I know, because when I was a kid, the cartoonists to me were like, especially Don Martin, who was one of their top cartoonists, they were like gods to me, like to actually know them in person. Of course, I've known Bob for years now. I've worked with him on several different projects, including that's why I got him to design the banner for the DUmmie FUnnies channel. And so this was quite an honor. Now, I won't be too surprised. I see now Mad Magazine used to be published in New York City, but now it's Burbank, California, near where Bob lives, out in Los Angeles. So don't be too surprised if you see more Mad Magazine covers from our own Bob Lizarraga. Now, I also have, if you want to know more about Bob Lizarraga, I have a link below to his webpage. You can see he has some great art. Really, he always has a touch of humor, at least a touch of humor, or more than a touch of humor in his art, which I really appreciate. And, who knows? Maybe in the not too distant future, Bob, maybe, give me a thumbs up if you think it's a good idea. Maybe we'll do some animation for the DUmmie FUnnies. We'll find out. Anyway, congratulations to Bob Lizarraga for this fantastic cover. I really liked it. It really, I like. See, it's the lighting too. It's not just the faces, but it's the way it's all lit up. I really like this. So if you get a chance, try to get yourself a copy of it. And I'll see you guys later.